Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a new Indiegogo project called Seedi, a CD-based retro gaming system that they claim will play classic CD games and more on your modern TV. You can see the title right up there. You can actually see the system itself right there. Let's get started. Alright, so this project has raised $12,705 out of their $50,000 goal with a month to go. So it seems pretty healthy so far. It's 25% there, give or take. So from that point, it does seem fairly healthy. Let's keep going down a little bit here. Want to enjoy your classic CD-ROM games again. Seedi is a game console that plays original discs from Sony, PlayStation 1, Neo Geo CD, TurboGrafx CD, Sega CD, DOS PC, and more. You can emulate other game consoles as well, like NES. Browse your collection in a beautiful interface. Sorry, I get a little amused when the term "beautiful interface" is used. A lot of these are, I'll just say, a lot of these are using open source software, and a lot of the look and feel to these are very similar to each other. So when they say a beautiful interface, I always get a bit of a chuckle. Seedi is a home media center and connected optical drive that can help preserve your collection of discs. So I want to spend a second here and go over preserve your collection of discs. So looking at that, my initial impressions is that this optical drive here can create ROMs from your CDs, which I guess we'll find out later on by reading, but that's my assumption so far. I'm not sure if this optical drive will read CDs as well, and you can play them from the CD, but my initial impressions here are that it can at least preserve, like rip the image and create a ROM off of them at the very least here. So retro CD game console, insert original CD games and start playing. Uses wireless Bluetooth controllers, original system controllers, or almost any USB controller. So that's pretty cool. Original system controllers, I'm a little confused out right now because it doesn't look like there's room for a whole bunch of different ports. Optical media player and burner, sometimes popping in a DVD or music CD is more convenient, blah, blah, blah. And I can see here this actual optical drive itself is just a DVD burner. So I'm wondering now how this is actually going to read PlayStation games or any CD games for that matter. If it's gonna, let's just keep reading. Ultimate emulator, CD runs on open source software. So this is what I was talking about, the UI part of it, the beautiful interface, because it is open source software. And this home media center, I can see right now that's just Kodi, so it doesn't look like a custom UI at this point. What's in the box? There is the CD itself, the console. Oh, the list is right here. Helps if I looked at that. CD system, CD vertical stand, controller, Bluetooth wireless, controller, charging, pairing cable, and power adapter. And I'm looking at this controller right now, and it does not look like a off-the-shelf DualShock 3. This looks like a third-party version of the DualShock 3. Alright, so let's just take a quick break and see if we can find this controller on Amazon. So there's my Google window, amazon.ca, and I'm going to type in PlayStation 3. Helps if I can spell PlayStation correctly here. Controllers, and there it is right there. So it is just a standard generic third-party controller here. So this is the controller you're getting with it, and I'll leave a link to this in the description as well. So we'll head back to the actual Indiegogo project. Features, here we go. Plays PlayStation, TurboGrafx CD, Neo Geo CD, Sega CD, plays ROMs, NES, Sega Genesis, MAME, Game Boy, Atari, TurboGrafx, plays cartridge games using a Retrode adapter sold separately. So it's compatible with the Retrode. If you're interested to know what the Retrode is, I can just bring it up right now. So this is something I do want to highlight because the Retrode is actually already out. So if you're interested in the Retrode, you can actually purchase it now and you don't need to wait for this Indiegogo project. So here is the Retrode itself. You can see there's Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo compatibility here. It is roughly US $65.18, and it does exist. And there is no current production run, I guess. It says Retros will be back in August, so I don't know. Can you add this to cart? Oh, you can. So it's in stock. So if you feel like adding some interesting retro gameplay to your PC or whatever you're doing, take a look at the Retrode itself. You don't need to really focus on the Seedi if you want to kind of do this. This is kind of cool in itself. Head back to the Kickstarter here, or the Indiegogo project here. You see here, play DVDs, play media, online multiplayer for some systems. So really what this is it's an all-in-one gaming system, similar to a RetroPie, similar to an Android box, except it has a CD drive attached to it. So it's extremely similar. You know, if you do have a RetroPie, I don't know if you would actually need to go down this route. If you have a Android box that you do emulation on, like an NVIDIA Shield or something, I don't really see a need to go down this route. But it's kind of cool that it does have a CD drive. Whether or not that CD drive works for playing games, they say it does. I'm just a little confused on that. So we'll scroll down here. They have an FAQ. So it doesn't come with any games. For CD games, do I need to wait for the game to be copied to the system before playing? No. CD can read games from the disc on the fly, so they can be played immediately. So that's really interesting. So they have a CD drive, and whatever software they've got can immediately play the game. So that is pretty good in itself. So it looks like you can copy the game to the system from your CD. So that initial impression was right. So if you do have a PS1 game or a Sega CD game or something, you can apparently put it in and it will rip the image off that and create a ROM file. And it looks like you can also just put the CD in and start playing like that. And it does work with multi-disc games. So looking here, what controllers can I use? So it's got Bluetooth built in, so they can use wireless controllers or wired controllers. And yeah, here we go. So when they said the legacy controllers, like the old controllers, many PlayStation to USB adapters. So for example, if you had an NES controller, you'd need an adapter to make it a USB controller. So that makes sense. That's why there isn't enough space for all those ports. Hook up to 8 controllers at once. That's pretty cool. Scrolling down. Here we go. How well can I expect games to play? So emulation is not always perfect. Fantastic is 95% of the game's work. Good is 80% of the game's work without issues. PlayStation with the BIOS is fantastic. Without BIOS is good. Fantastic. So they're listing fantastic with everything as long as you've got a BIOS. Looking down here, what open source projects does this use? Front-end media player Kodi emulators to be announced. So this is something I'm a little concerned about, and I have a slight bit of hesitation. I can see here that emulators to be announced. So if they say they work fantastic, but they haven't announced any emulators yet, I'm a little confused. It's nice to know that they run fantastic, but at the same time, they're not saying what emulators they're using. That's a red flag to me. Maybe they've got a prototype that works. Maybe they don't. But at the same time, I'm a little concerned because they do say they run fantastic, but they haven't announced any emulators yet. I am actually not sure. So that's a red flag for me. Have they tested them out? Are they just saying they're fantastic? I'm not sure. And that's a big point, because if you are using an emulator, you do need to know how it runs. Like this part, I'm sorry, I'm getting stuck on this part. Largely due to the fact that I would really like to know what they're using to base the fantastic on, because I know a lot of emulators are out there. I know some are not the greatest, some are not the most optimized. And to say it runs fantastic, like this is the whole bread and butter for their emulation system. Because if it does not emulate games very well, there's no point in purchasing it. But nevertheless, I don't want to draw too much away, because to be fair, this might be a very good project that comes out. It might be a huge success. I don't know. But this is just a slight red flag to me. So if you guys are watching this from Seedi, please fill out the emulator section so we can evaluate what you guys are using, because I'm curious, and it's a big part to the project itself. They are out there, they are available. It's not like you're making new emulators here, unless you are, but please list them out. All right, now let's scroll up and take a look at the backing tiers. So featured is $125. You get the Seedi system, wireless controller, Seedi vertical stand. For $25, you get a sticker. For $99, you got, oh, that's sold out. It's the early bird. That's a system, wireless controller, and stand. $100, which is $1 more. You get the controller, beta Seedi system, and beta vertical stand. $110 is bring your own controller. So they're charging an extra $10 for the controller itself. It looks like extra $15. Okay, so it's an extra $15 for this controller. So this controller is Canadian, $19.99. Since these are American prices, it's probably negligible. If you were to go to the $125 option, you do get the Bluetooth controller, or you can just buy the Bluetooth controller on your own for pretty much the exact same price. So I'd probably recommend the $110 version if you do have USB controllers lying around or Bluetooth controllers lying around. If you don't, then maybe the 125 tier. For $135, there's a limited edition clear green color. That looks kind of neat. $140 is a 2-player system. $2,500, that's a big leap. $25, you get, let's see here. If you can support us at this level, we will treat you to a good time and hands-on gaming session with Seedi at a fun location. We will pay for travel from within the US to Philadelphia and a night nearby. You get 2 wireless controllers, you get the vertical stand, you get the clear green Seedi system, and a trip to Philadelphia here with a hands-on session. So I'd say if you are considering backing this one, the $110 if you have a USB controller makes a lot of sense. If you don't have a USB, or you don't have a wireless or USB controller, maybe the $125. All right, so as always, what I like, what I don't like, and my overall thoughts. First and foremost, what I like. I like that the CD DVD drive can play physical games, whether it's PlayStation, Sega CD, TurboGrafx, CD, etc. I really like that function because it just adds a new dimension to, for example, the RetroPie system. It's like a RetroPie that can play CD games on the fly. I like that the system can create ROM files from game CDs. So as you may know, I'm a huge fan of emulation and a huge fan of ROMs because it does save your physical media. So if you can create a ROM from a CD, then you don't have to worry about that CD being scratched or damaged in any way. You can create the ROM file, have it on your system, put the CD back in your shelf or wherever you put it, and you're off to the races. You never have to worry about that CD being damaged, whether you're taking it in and out of your system, accidentally dropping it or whatever. So you could essentially just put a whole bunch of the ROMs on here from your own physical collection, and you're kind of off to the races. I like that. What I don't like that the emulators are not listed. That is a major red flag for me. They say everything runs great, but they haven't listed what emulators they're using. And I do a lot of homework on emulators, and I just feel that for me, I would like to know what those emulators are, because if they do say a game runs fantastically, and I know they're using an outdated emulator or an emulator that has a few problems, then that might not be factually true. I'm just really curious to see what emulators they are using. There is no video footage of the product in action as well. So that's also a little concerning because the main feature of this system is being able to use physical game CDs and playing them. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'll be blunt. There are tons of emulation systems out there. I would argue that an NVIDIA Shield or a Raspberry Pi or an Android phone or a tablet or an Android box themselves do a heck of a good job generally as emulation systems, as all-in-one systems, because you can also, more than usually, put Kodi on them as well. So it's kind of an all-in-one system to begin with. So this, I feel that the whole project kind of hinges on the functionality of this CD drive. That's the unique factor that this system has. And the fact that there is no video footage of the product in action is a little concerning that way, because I would really like to see that. Even if it's just a prototype and it's some hacked up ugly system that they have working, I'd still like to see video footage of them putting in a CD and having it run and seeing how it runs that way. My overall thoughts. If this product is released and delivers what is being proposed, then it might be a pretty great system. Just because of the unique piece here with that CD drive being able to create ROMs from your physical media, that would be really cool. And at the price point of roughly $110 that the Indiegogo is offering here, that is a pretty good deal for a system that will read your physical media, create ROMs, play all those other emulators that they haven't listed, and also play media. So a CD or a DVD, you can just put it into that system, or use Kodi or anything like that. My other overall thought here is that the no video footage of the product in action and no list of emulators raises a few red flags. And those red flags I'm having a very hard time getting over. And, if these guys from CD come out and put out a video that shows it in action, that would be really great. And that would help make me feel overall better about this Indiegogo project. But I'm just saying, and I'm not saying to back this project, and I'm also not saying to not bag this project. Use your own judgment here. If it's something you really like, go for it. If something you don't like, then don't go for it. I'm just trying to say it's something that's concerning to me and really, really making me think about this, because those are huge things. And I'm really having a hard time getting over the fact that there is no video footage of this in action and there are no emulators that are listed. That being said, I think this product could potentially be really cool. It could be extremely good, but I'm just hesitant at this point. So will I back this project? I don't know yet. And I might just wait to see how it's going to do, and then buy it once it's physically released. I don't know yet. I'm just on the fence. Maybe they'll release more details in time, but I'm on the fence. All right. That's all I've got for today. Please check out my other videos. Please hit that subscribe button. Please let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I would love to know what you think of the system, what you think it's going to deliver or not deliver, your concerns or the things you think it has going for it. I'm really curious to see what you have to say. So please leave comments below. Please hit that subscribe button. That's all I've got for today. Thank you, everyone. Take care.